We are loud, obnoxious, and completely inappropriate. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Coffee Mug Show. This is episode 15, recorded live on March 11th, 2018. My name is Leonard, and I'm joined by three of my lovely co-hosts, Derek, Mark, and Chad. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey.
Hey. Sounds very cheerful there, guys.
Give me a snack, sorry.
Yeah. So before we begin, if you guys are watching us live on YouTube and on Twitch, our chat rooms are open. So we definitely want to join us in the conversation. We have very good topics this week. That's going to be a very good debate on this. Well, no, more than conversation than anything else. So all right, let's go straight to our first topic here. Uber will not be facing criminal charges from last year's self-driving crash. Nearly a year after, one of Uber's autonomous SUV struck and killed a pedestrian in Arizona. According to Arizona's prosecutors, says they did not find the company criminally liable in the incident. However, the prosecutor's office has referred the case back to Maricopa County's office to see if the backup driver, who was apparently streaming Hulu at the time of the incident, will be facing charges. FYI, Uber has resumed testing of their autonomous vehicles. So what do you guys think about this ruling? Pretty nutty that the company's not liable for this little incident of theirs?
Well, I mean, if they had a backup driver to help, if they did their due diligence for safety, then they're okay. It's when they don't do their due diligence. They actually had a backup driver. They took all the precautions and everything like that. Something failed. That's why you have a backup driver.
But how about the driver that potentially being charged for?
The driver can be charged for. It's just like in construction. The general contractor will do everything that they're in their power to keep everybody safe. They will put barriers. They will put tie-offs. They'll put warning signs. Everything. However, if like a sub-trade or an actual worker decides to ignore it or does something stupid like streaming while they're walking or on their phone while they're walking and they fall through a hole, well, it's not the general contractor's fault. It's somebody not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
You think these rules are going to be changing as soon as autonomous cars become mainstream?
Well, I mean, I guess the idea behind this case is that they had somebody in the car and that was their job to be that backup. They were the backup, and that person failed that role, right? So when the car is fully autonomous, when it's rated in that way, I think at that point, then the company would become liable. And there are people that use things like Tesla's auto drive or so forth and so on, that they're still responsible. The car can do a lot, right? But they still have to be manning the wheel and paying attention just as if they were driving the car itself. Do I think that the company should not have any liability? I'm not sure if I completely agree with it, but I could see the point of view that, based on the fact that the person was distracted. In other words, if the person was doing his job and he tried to brake, there wasn't enough time, there was some technical issue in regards to the car and the driver or something to that effect. We don't really know the exact details. Then I would look at the company being much more liable for that. But in this case, it seems like there was video. It seems like the driver was simply not doing his job straight up.
Yeah, as far as I know, I think all the manufacturers doing this autonomous car thing, I think Uber's the only company that actually has their drivers in the back seat instead of the passenger side. So
Well, let me be clear. I am a huge fan of car automation. I believe it's the future. I believe we should go there. I mean, I think we have a long ways to go with in regards to safety and so forth, in regards to the reliability of it. But again, nothing is ever quite perfect. We don't know if the pedestrian ran out in front of the car. We don't know a number of different factors here, right? There will always be some sort of variance there, right?
Yeah, I'm actually just going to reply to Gorzo here. They had a comment about if you're going to have a backup driver, then make sure they're paying attention. Otherwise, what's the point of having a backup driver? Question is, like Uber does their testing. The person backup driver, it's like even us as a driver. If we've taken a person with a G1 and we're supposed to be responsible for them, we're supposed to pay attention. So if they get into an accident, it's actually our fault. But Uber, what they did, they hired somebody to be this backup driver, but they won't be able to, like, how are they going to make sure that they're paying attention by putting a camera in the car? Like, I mean, you can put a camera in the car, but they won't see it until after the fact.
They just don't allow the person in the car with a device like a.
yeah,
I mean, here's the thing. I'm not supposed to have a cell phone on my job site. However, we still bring them on to the job site because that's how our foreman contacts us and tells us what we have to do next.
in this case though, because the backup driver is supposed to pay attention.
Yeah, but
Right.
there's only so much a backup driver can do. But the backup drivers shouldn't be streaming Hulu or watching TV while they're supposed to be doing the job.
Agree.
Definitely.
They're directly there as a safety mechanism.
Yeah,
And
that's their job.
yeah.
So he
If the
failed. He literally
passenger-
failed in what he was supposed to do. He was not doing his job.
Sorry,
It's
Chad?
like
Sorry, Mark.
If
Finish it
there
off.
was injuries, then would they be liable for the injuries?
Who's
shouldn't the
person
backup
or
driver?
the company?
The company.
no,
Well,
they're not liable.
They're not
That's
legally
the whole point of the case.
Yeah, they're not criminally what it says here. They're not criminally liable in the incident. So they have zero liability regarding what happened to the incident to the car or to killing a pedestrian.
Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have questions about technically what happened to the car. It failed, and I would have questions around that, like why did it fail? Not separating that from the driver issue and so forth. That's the next question that I would have, right?
I in my opinion, I think if the court says that the company's not liable, and they have a case against the backup driver saying that they're not paying attention, right? Is it his fault that he wasn't trained properly by Uber?
I wouldn't make that argument. He was paid to be there, right? So he had a job to do and he didn't do it. That doesn't. I mean, if you're talking about people in very sensitive safety roles, like pilots and so forth, they're responsible for the planes. They're responsible for the people on board. There's a lot of responsibility there, right? And yes, it's not a plane, but still the same kind of responsibility applies. You're in a machine which you're controlling, or at least has some autonomy, because planes do, have autopilots and so forth. But at no point is the pilot not responsible for the people on the plane.
Yeah, I agree. So it's the same thing for this one then. Theoretically, the backup driver is responsible for the vehicle itself.
Okay, so Platinum is, what's the point of having a car that can drive itself? Though if you need a backup driver, the person might as well just be driving. Well, I mean, going back to Derek's point about the plane, well, most planes fly themselves. You throw on an autopilot and it flies themselves. However, they still have a pilot there to take control if something goes wrong. And that's with any automated course. Like, I mean, you could put ourselves in cruise control, but we're still there to control the car, and we're there to turn off the cruise control if the traffic becomes too heavy.
That's true.
Right? So, and again, to Gorzo's comment about why don't they put cameras position on the driver? Again, you can record the driver, but they don't see that film until after the fact.
Yeah,
They're not going to be able to stream this vehicle, like the content of the vehicle, until like while they're driving.
Yeah.
We also have to remember that as we get automated vehicles onto the road, they are going to mix in with humans. And until we get to the stage where we have, say, a dedicated lane just for automated vehicles, we will most likely still have many accidents related to these. And the reason for that is humans, mostly human error, right? If you have a string of cars that are automated, they themselves as an instrument would not make a mistake because they never lose attention. They're doing their job. You know, they're like follow 20 feet behind the car in front of me, you know, and they communicate with each other, right? So it's very unlikely in that scenario that there would be quote unquote an accident unless some act of Mother Nature would interfere with that, such as ice or something like that, that is beyond the ability for it to recover, right?
In technology standpoint, this is unfortunately I have to say this, but this is a lessons learned for companies who's doing automations, especially car autonomous vehicles.
Like anything, any new technology, you know, whoever this person was whom passed away because of this, essentially they go down the history books as the first person killed by an automated car, right? And as you say, it's a lesson learned. We're looking at it from the perspective of what do we learn out of this? But with any new technology that we have, people die because of it. That's common for any new technology.
It is kind of scary though.
There's enough crashes and deaths on the 401 without automated cars. So the fact that we're looking at automated cars, I don't think it helps. I think it just makes the situation worse.
So
once that fails, then you got to go back to human, and that already doesn't work.
But the question is, why did it fail? Again, that was my question. My question would be
doing his job.
No.
Why did the actual car fail?
Why did
I
the
have the
actual
article.
car
Let me
fail?
double find out.
Right, and the reason is that, you know, they're creating this, and the reason there's a driver there is they're still not 100% confident on the technology. And a car like that has many different sensors on it. You know, are these sensors susceptible to snow, to rain, to frost? Do they, you know, fog over? You know, their infrared cameras, their motion sensors, their, you know, location sensors. There's all kinds of these sensors on the car, and it's not a question of the car necessarily failing. It's a question of what went wrong in the circumstances that the car wasn't able to react fast enough, because a car will always have the ability to react faster than a human. The question is, was the inputs coming into the car sufficient to give it that ability to brake or whatever that might be? Did it get confused about the environment that it's in?
Okay, according to the original article from the investigation, apparently the lady, she's 49, was in the shadow right of the roadway. So in other words, she's like pretty close to the edge of the walkway of the sidewalk. I think apparently the shadows in the on the streets. I think the car just got confused regarding where the road actually ends and where the sidewalk actually starts.
Okay, well, that's definitely something that would classify as an issue.
Now, are these automated cars labeled in any way so that pedestrians know it's an automated car?
Yeah, all the test cars, doesn't matter which company you're using, that you're looking at, they actually have a big LiDAR on top of the car. Looks like a radar. And actually it says that this is an automated car. Like, this is a fully functioning autonomous vehicle. So apparently
18-wheelers have that sign on the back saying caution, makes wide right turn, so you know to stay away.
Yeah,
this
right, and for this, in this case, like Uber itself actually has, they're actually using a massive SUV. It's a Volvo SUV, which actually says Uber autonomous cars, and there's like cameras, radars, everything. So apparently, and I know in San Francisco they've been testing it there. You see them running around. Now that Arizona is actually a lot wider streets, so they can do their tests a lot better there. But unfortunately, shit happens.
Well, and like Leonard was saying, there's a lot of cameras there. There's a lot of sensors, and it got confused, sure, but you know, maybe that's the lesson learned is there has to be more redundancy around those kind of questions for the computer, right?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I think this is a first step. Unfortunately, this person, unfortunately, was the victim of new technology that's being tested, and for me, this is the future, so we can't really go away from it, right? So it is.
So Platinum actually agrees with Chad about a regular car could have malfunction and killed someone.
Yeah,
Just
any
as
kind of
easy.
technology does that too. Like, look at what happened in the weekend. A plane crashed because there's potentially the plane has defaults. Potentially, inconclusive.
Just because this plane has been flying for how many decades or whatever.
No, this is
No,
the new 737 Max.
The Boeing 737 MAX 8
Yeah.
was just brought in, I think, in 2015,
I think it's
I think.
yeah, this is a brand new plane.
It's a brand new plane. It's
okay.
it's the next generation from the original 737
This is the second. This is the second or third one that crashed
in 5 months.
in 5 months.
Second one,
Second one
right?
in 5 months with the
second one.
same plane,
Hmm.
right? And that plane is pure 100% glass cockpit. This means everything's computerized.
Yeah, and well, the thing is, there's 350 around the world so far, right?
Yeah,
And out of the 350, 2 have gone down,
yeah.
right?
From an
And-
aviation perspective, that's starting to be concerning, right? That's
It
a
is,
high
yeah,
number.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it's an older
I think
plane,
it just,
right? This is a
I
brand
think it
new
goes
one.
to the question.
Actually, they've been around since 2007. The FAA certified them 2017.
Okay, Chad. Sorry, what were we saying?
I think it just goes back to the question: are we better with technology or not?
Well, we can't
And
really.
it seems
I don't know. We can't really escape technology. It's here, right? Look at what we're using. It's technology, so we can't really say that technology is the
Right, are we
Achilles
better-
heel for us to move forward, right?
I mean, are we better with technology? Of course, we as a society we are better. We've come from, look what technology has done. Technology has helped our lifespan from being in the 40s up to the 90s now,
Yeah,
right?
but for us to
We've
say,
got-
yeah. Sorry, Mark. Sorry, what were we saying?
Well, no, I'm just saying there's with all the good, there's also going to be the bad of technology. Yeah, things fail when you like. How many times did Chuck Yeager crash before before getting up onto was it the right stuff?
The X series of planes.
X series,
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
breaking the sound barrier is what you're talking about.
Breaking the sound barrier. How many times did he fail? And how many times did he crash?
Yeah.
How many times did the Wright brothers fail before they got the plane flying the first time?
Yeah.
There's like with anything, there's always going to be bugs. How many times did Windows have to have a new version come out because of all the bugs out of the first version?
No, I can understand what Chad was saying about regarding is it are we better off just keeping it in the sealed fenced area until they get the bugs out, but unfortunately they have to leave the fenced area to see if the system actually works. It's real world testing.
It is.
Right?
And the perfect example of that, and I mean, I could be wrong in this, but the perfect example of that is just look at Microsoft and how they did Windows.
And here's the other point: is that the aviation industry is one of the safest in the world. Flying is the safest way to travel, but still, hundreds of people die every year. Nothing is perfect.
No, but either way, like how I see this is it sucks that someone died, but this is the future. We have to keep looking forward. We can't keep looking backwards. As soon as something, if there's a speed bump, we can't keep going backwards until we get rid of that speed bump. We need to keep going forward. So that's my thoughts. So
well, what I'm saying is like, okay, it's the future, but test it elsewhere. That's safer than on the road.
well,
But that's the thing. We have to test it on the road.
Yeah, we need to get real world experience in the technology itself, right? Oh, that's sucky. Happy Monday, guys.
Happy Monday.
So, final thoughts about this, and we can move on. Okay.
You know what? Like, getting back to the meat of the thing, it's if like I said, the courts and the prosecutor found that Uber did their due diligence. That's why they're not getting charged. But the driver might, the backup driver might, and I agree with that.
I agree as well.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay. So on a happier note, speed camera ahead. Google Maps would add photo radar warning for drivers. The feature, which is currently being rolled out to Google, allows users to see speed limits, speed cameras, and mobile speed cameras on the maps before you leave. It also gives you a warning, speed camera ahead, when drivers are near a fixed camera location. Is this a good thing or a bad thing to see a speed giving you warning there's speed cameras ahead?
I would say it's a good thing for both sides.
Waze already has that.
Oh, one more thing too. They said that they're not going to mix whatever Google has to Waze.
Well, no, Google has stated that they're not going to mix everything together, right? They're still going to keep it separate.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, here's the thing though, because this article came from Edmonton, the Edmonton Journal. So if you guys don't know where Edmonton is, it's in the middle of Canada. That's really, really cold during the winter. It's home. Yeah, it's cold.
People think it's always cold. We're Canadians.
Yeah.
They think it's cold up here 24,
Yeah.
12 months out of the year.
well, I mean, it's also in Calgary too, not just in Edmonton.
Yeah. So
That Edmonton is far colder than the majority of Canada, so we'll give them that.
so according to the article, according to the Edmonton Journal, as well as CTV, it's a channel, it's a news network, saying that the chief of police of Edmonton actually agrees and welcome the with open arms regarding the speed camera locations, because it actually helped deter speeders.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So in other words, if you're dumb enough to get caught with a big sign that says camera ahead, yeah, you're dumb enough to get a ticket. In my opinion, this is a great thing to have. I think in Europe, I know in England they already have like their maps actually indicates where their speed cameras are located already.
But Leonard, it all depends if the person driving is using Google Maps.
Mhm.
So if the person's not using Google Maps and they're just using their navigation on their own car, they're not going to know. So there's no sign for them.
So in other words, this is great for Google and bad for like Garmin or TomTom.
Right? But that's the thing. It's a good thing if you're using Google Maps. Now,
If you have an Apple, then not so good.
Hey, I have Google Maps, so I don't know what you're talking about.
well, I mean, there are some vehicles now that who are Android friendly. That when you connect your Android phone, you can actually it will mirror your phone, and you can have the Google Maps right on your screen. But if you don't have an Android phone, or if you don't have that feature, again, you're just using your own navigation, you won't know. But saying that, knowing that there's a speed trap ahead or a speed zone, like a speed camera ahead, of course everybody's going to slow down. It's exactly what happens with those red light cameras. You're approaching an intersection, and you see the sign that says, there's a red light camera. Then guess what? You're going to slow down. You're going to try to stop because you don't want to get that ticket, right? The only thing is, my Garmin actually tells me when a red light camera is coming up.
So does Waze.
But again,
Waze has it, yeah.
I don't use Waze. That's what I'm saying. These are Waze, and Google Maps is an app on your phone. But if you're not using your phone and you're using a Jeep, like a Garmin, or your car's own navigation system, how are you going to know?
I'd also like to point out here that this should be absolutely not needed in any way, shape, or form.
We should
It
having a.
shouldn't be needed. This should not be needed. If you're following the rules of the road and not speeding, it should not be needed.
Oh, in a perfect world, I agree 100%. But again, we're humans and we're idiots.
I think I understand why. I mean, I don't really see why Google is putting this out there. I mean, the idea, I suppose, is to encourage people not to speed. I guess, but if there's a distance between the two cameras, then like, oh, okay, I can speed now. And there are terrible people on the roads that just weave through traffic at hundreds of miles an hour, and it's insane, right? They have no respect for the road.
Let's look at this in Google's perspective, though. If you actually have this feature in your own product and entice people to use your product, this means you can get their location.
But you know what? Oh, sorry, just the thing. But we're also got to understand that the Alberta government is doing this so that they can prevent photo radar from being a cash cow.
Well, dude, they bought all Ontario's mobile speed camera things from us, then they used it there. I got caught with Ontario red speeding cameras when I lived in Alberta.
So why were you speeding?
So the speed limit in Alberta is actually 110. So when you go 110, you want to push it a little bit more. 20 is more. 20 is the max. So yeah, they don't take that lightly. But no, yeah, like I agree with Derek 100%. If you should not be speeding. This does not. We're not telling you to speed. We're telling you to obey the speed limit. But at the same time, if you get caught and you're using Google Maps, that's your fault.
Well, I mean, it's nothing illegal about using the Google Maps thing now. There's nothing illegal with that.
Well, think about it. It is illegal to use your phone while you're driving.
Yeah, but they said they're going to give audio cues or something like that, are they not?
Yeah, they are. They're supposed to give you verbal warnings. That's speed camera ahead.
Yeah. So.
Well, here's the interesting part. Does it tell you when you're out of the range of it, or like?
No, I think it gives you like
when's it coming up? You don't know.
I think it gives you 500 meter buffer. Yeah, 500 meters before before the speed camera.
Having said this is not. I don't consider this about money, and that's why are speed cameras there? Because they know people speed, and they need to ticket them for it, right?
Lights.
Exactly. It's a safety mechanism. So to show people where the quote unquote safety mechanism is so you can bypass it, I don't really think is the best logic that we're approaching this on.
I do like the option that it tells you where there's an accident up ahead or a car on the side of the road so you know what's coming up ahead.
Especially on the 401.
Definitely.
If you guys don't know Ontario or Canada very well, especially in Ontario, the 401 is considered one of the busiest corridors in the world. So,
really?
Yeah, it's actually made it to consider one of the most busiest corridor in the world.
That's why I use the 407.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Pay the toll.
Pay the toll.
See, I don't have to worry about traffic.
So, any thoughts with this speed camera head upgrade for your Google Maps?
Obey the speed limit, please.
Yes. Surprisingly, I was in the toll road this afternoon going home, and I was going 120 kilometers. I had a cop beside me going 120. There's cars passing me.
Oh yeah.
And seriously, I'm like, okay, so I slowed down to be respectful. I'll slow down a bit. I swear to God, this cop was like tailgating me the whole time. I was in the slow lane.
That's why he's wondering why you're driving slow on the 405.
Probably. So, okay, here's the last topic. I think, Mark, you're going to be having fun for this one? Okay.
Not really.
Okay. BioWare responds to Anthem PS4 crashing issues. The game Anthem has been out for a short time, but it already found itself in the center of multiple controversies. One of the issues is PlayStation 4 version of the game. The game closes out and causes a full system crash.
Mhm.
with some PS4 gamers worried about the crashing and potentially bricking their console. Sony has reportedly gone as far as offering refunds to those who has purchased the game digitally.
Yes.
EA, the parent company of BioWare, tweeted that they are aware of the crashing issue that Anthem players on PS4s are currently experiencing, and they are investigating the issue and asked the community to share data when those consoles crashes. EA hasn't discovered the reason why Anthem is crashing, especially in PS4. Unfortunately, EA has no fix in place. As a gamer, Mark, just overall, just a straight gamer.
Before you go to Mark, my question is, does anyone know of this issue similarly happening with some other game in the past? I've never heard of this issue before.
Xbox 2, you have issue with bricking, especially if the game is it's not coded properly.
Okay, so my next question is, if this has never happened before to PS4, why is this technically possible? Because, and Mark could probably be able to answer that for me.
Okay. Again, a PS4, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, a Nintendo DS. Again, they're all computers, right? Basically, it's a smaller version of a computer. You have your firmwares, you have your software, your game apps, everything. Everything is all, again, it's everything. It's the same question everybody asks. Why does my machine freeze? Why does my computer freeze up? Why do I have to reboot my computer? Why do I have to reboot my Mac? Why do I have to reboot, my laptop? It's not everything's perfect, as we found out today, because everything we're talking about is not perfect. So what is happening is players who are, gamers who are playing Anthem on their PS4 have experienced it just freezing up the machines and locking them out, and and they have to reboot. Now, EA may not have a fix. However, there's been a fix out there where you could actually just go into safe mode and rebuild your database, and you should be fine. Does it work all the time? No. Regarding Sony's stance on it, Sony's actual refund policy states if the game is defective, they will give you a full refund. They consider this as a defect in the game. PC users don't have these issues. Not many Xbox users have had this issue, so it's something to do with the PS4 and the actual coding of this game. If EA can't find it and BioWare can't find it, then it has to do with there is something that got missed during beta. It got missed during all the everybody looking for bugs and the quality control.
It seems like a very glaring issue, though, because these things go through a lot of testing. It's not like they just, write the code and there you go. There's a lot of testing process that goes through. Now, having said that, people put out crappy games sometimes. You do usually get that from EA games or BioWare. You don't usually get that from these titles. They're usually pretty good about having large teams of people testing this stuff out. Here's the interesting thing, though. If this hasn't happened before, and did they stick it into a PS4 before they shipped it out? It seems like a very logical thing to do.
No, okay. Here's the thing about beta testing. Beta testing, excuse me, with Anthem's beta testing, there's only a certain amount of levels that you do. You don't play the full game. Also, when you're testing an actual game, different teams test different levels and different sections of the game. So you don't have the full game to deal with. Again, a lot of this information is sketchy. How long have these people been playing? How many hours into the game? How many were they playing straight? 9 hours, 8 hours into the game when this issue's happening? Does it start right at the beginning of the game? I mean, I've seen some Reddit comments that they were saying it for 2 days, that they were playing fine, and then all of a sudden it crashed, right?
You think it's a PS4 issue, potentially? Like almost a chain reaction thing?
I don't think it's an actual hardware issue. I think it's an actual it's just something. There's something in that code that's causing this. That's causing. Um, it's like when you install a new piece of hardware in a computer, and all you keep getting after that is like a blue screen of death. It's that one piece. There's like one piece, or you install a piece of software that starts causing you issues because it's maybe incompatible with something, right? Is it incompatibility with the actual processor? Is it incompatibility with the graphics module that's in the PS4? Is it incompatibility um, with anything? So it is a bummer, right? And it is taking a big hit out of Anthem and EA having these issues. But they're not the only game that have these issues. Battlefield 5 was launched with not everything in it. Hardware-wise, when NVIDIA launched the RTX series of graphics cards, there's a whole bunch of them that are failing. Hardware failures, artifacting. Some are, I think, one caught on fire. Others are just saying, and this is a brand new. And we're talking about $2,000 graphic cards. So when you look at it, this is the year. Like the past few months, it hasn't been a good year for releases for hardware and software and games.
Do you guys remember when Microsoft has their Ring of Fire? I think it's called Ring of Fire. All 4 lights in the front of your Xbox start flashing red. This means the whole system actually
got bricked. Yeah,
burnt or bricked.
Yeah. So
if you guys don't know what bricking is, this means the whole thing just stopped working and it becomes a big heavy brick.
That's what it is. It becomes a big ass paperweight afterwards.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of interested what's going to happen with this one because the PS4 has been out for a while, right?
The PS4 has been out for a while, and they're looking into it. I mean, going through different things.
Yeah,
they're saying that there's supposed to be a patch this week or next week for it. That's what BioWare is saying out of some reports that are on the net here. I mean, they confirm it. They're not denying that it's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
At least admit it, because I don't know. To be honest with you guys, sorry.
Did they rush the release date? Is that one of the reasons?
They rushed it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think this was fully rushed. Not like Battlefield 5.
No.
Battlefield 5 actually launched with a lot of the game, what was supposed to be in the game, missing.
I think of it like the other biggest story I've heard recently is Fallout 76, and that's sort of the issues around that.
Ooh. Fallout 76 was just put together wrong.
Okay, can you explain as a non-gamer?
Fallout 76 was sort of the online version of the Fallout series, which is a first-person shooter game, which has a lot of history around it. There's multiple games for it. It's a really good game. Personally, it's one that I love. But when they announced it, their idea was to have, as with many other multiplayer games online, you fighting other humans. And what they did was they basically took the premise of the game, all the things that you loved about the game, which was self-directed exploration. In other words, you would have an open world concept. You could choose to go do various things in various ways and so forth. There was a storyline along with it, but part of the interesting part of the game was that you would go interact with a lot of NPCs and so forth. And a lot of computers around it, get information and accumulate that information into a gameplay, into a way that you would have your own experience every time you play through. Well, with Fallout 76, they took away all those things. There's nothing really to explore in the game. It's a much bigger world than in a regular world, and they did do an okay job in some ways about making that look good. But that was pretty much it. Because think about it, if the objective there is just to go fight another human player in gangs and so forth, it's not Fallout 76. It's not what the game was originally intended to be. And they simply threw this together, slapped on the name of Fallout 70's on the game title, and said, "Here, guys, go ahead." It's sort of like what Discovery is for Star Trek. Star Trek Discovery is they slap the name Star Trek on it, but it's not Star Trek, you know.
That hurts. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, again, Fallout 76 was an online game only. That's one of the things, and then also there was the performance issues with it, and people have saying it was just boring.
it's similar to what's that game now? I can't remember the name of it. You were playing it, Mark. I'm drawing a blank now.
Overwatch?
No, Overwatch.
You're not
First
gonna say
person.
Skyrim,
Starts with an F.
Oh, Fortnite.
Fortnite. Similar to
Yeah.
it, right?
Well, yes,
Sort of.
it's sort of like, I mean, Fortnite is a battle royale. Well, I mean, that's again first-person shooter. You get into a world. It's supposed to be a battle royale type scene where you go. It's a free-for-all. Battlefield 5 Firestorm is supposed to be coming out soon, which is a battle royale system as well. Then we have Apex Legends that just came out, and Apex Legends, like I think within its first week or so, 50 million downloads. It surpassed Fortnite, right? So
We're in the wrong
we
business, my
got that.
friends.
Huh?
We're definitely in the wrong business.
Is the chat room really bored at this point?
I'm sorry.
Is the chat room really bored at this point?
Yeah, I just completely dead silence as soon as we start talking about BioWare.
We're geeking out too much. The
Good
audience
to
has
know.
recognized
The
that we're
audience
geeking
doesn't.
out.
Yeah, anything that's computer related, they just stops talking.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of interesting though, because when I read this article, the first thing I remember was the Xbox issue that they had in the mid 2000s, right? And I started thinking, I was like, my God, hopefully it's not going to be one of those things.
Actually, hold on. I got a report here. There's a tweet from Chad Robertson back a few days ago, March the 6th. They've actually identified the several causes for the temporary power down crash on some PS4 users. They're sending out a patch that will fix that. And they have not encountered an instance where Anthem has bricked their PS4 console.
Oh, that's good. That's a good sign. That's a good
It
sign.
is, but again, they might have. It's like a perfect example. I got an RTX 2070 video card. I've had it for a while now, and I've had no issues. Another gamer friend of mine bought the same card. His card failed. He got another one that failed. He went up to the RTX 2080 that failed. He got another 2080 that failed. So I think he went through 5 RTX cards.
Wow.
And that was an issue with the RTX cards. There were issues with it that a lot of users have experienced, and NVIDIA did acknowledge it, that there's artifacting. The cards were just dying out. Was not, it just wouldn't work. So you could have it's again, it's like buying a car. You could have 2 vehicles that's the exact same, but one's a lemon and one's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna okay. Apparently, our chat room is getting bored.
I didn't choose this topic.
So I'm gonna ask the chat room, because we do have time. I want you guys to pick a topic, then we're gonna see if we can talk about it.
The immunization debate.
Okay, you know what?
Oh Jesus!
I'm gonna. Let me guess. Harry Potter.
No,
it-
The immunization
actually, that's a
debate.
very good question to ask.
Give
Actually.
shots or not to give shots.
Yeah. Oh dear, this is gonna open a. Okay, give us another topic just in case we can't figure this one out. Okay, I'll start with this one. Gorza actually said immunization debate: to give a shot or not to give a shot. I say give a shot. How about you
Don't put it
guys?
this way. Your kids will be suspended from school if they're not fully vaccinated.
Yes, I know someone refused to immunize their daughter when they were born.
Mm-hmm.
She's homeschooled, right? And she can't go to school to other classes until she reaches, I think, 16 or 18. After that, then she can go. She can actually be part of a high school, right? And
And you know what? And that's perfectly fine with me. I don't need another student or another child coming into the school, bringing a deathly disease into the school where my kids can get it.
the other debate is not to give a shot because there's a lot of crap going through someone's body.
I don't know
That's
if that's
the other
an
side of the
accurate
debate.
statement. I don't think there's an accurate saying there's lots of crap. I mean, the way immunization works is they introduce a tiny amount of whatever that is enough that your body can overwhelm it and learn how to fight it, right? That's the idea behind immunization, or a special retrovirus that they have that they know will work against that.
Yeah, some parents do not like that part.
Well,
You
it
know?
comes down to a question of, so there are diseases in the world that have been eradicated, polio, things to that effect, that have been virtually eradicated, smallpox. These are terrible diseases.
A black
And
plague.
yeah, okay, well, do they actually have a vaccine for the Black Plague?
No, they just let them all die and call it a day.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. Is that? I'm not sure if that's part of the immunization, the Black Plague there. I'm not sure if that's the typical one you would receive.
Well,
If you're gonna be a parent and you're gonna have kids, or you want to have kids, but you're not willing to do the immunization, then I think the law should step in and say, well, then you're not suited to have kids.
Well, it's a matter of, what I have found personally is that it's a matter of the parent's perspective applying their values onto their children, which generally is a good thing. But when you have the health of the child that's in jeopardy, as a parent, as somebody who is a parent,
Well,
I would
okay.
do everything I can to protect my child, right?
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's another thing. What if it's against your religion?
Well, that's again where we're coming back to the question of values, right? And coming back to the question of that. Now, we don't get into religious debates here on this show, and I don't think we should start.
no, we're not gonna go down
I'm
route.
just saying it's just that, again, some people don't get the shots because of their religion. Some people don't get the shots because they feel that it's not necessary, right? For me, I find that it is necessary, and
Okay, here's the thing. I have peanut allergies. Okay, I can't have a flu shot. I have to rely on other people's getting their flu shot. Help protect
why can't
me.
you have a flu shot?
Because they use sorry, I have an egg allergy. I can't have flu shots. Sorry, because they use an egg as an incubator for the flu virus.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so used to saying peanut allergies. I forgot about the other ones.
I honestly thought they had something developed for that, though. I had read something years ago. I thought they had figured that out.
They, according to Health Canada, a few years ago, Health Canada released that people who has egg allergies can get flu shots, right? But no doctors will give me a flu shot for liability issues.
Yeah, but again, isn't there a process where you're able to take the flu shot that is they modified it in some way, we not using an egg as a growth medium or something like that?
No, right now, as far as I know, the egg medium was actually the best way to grow virus.
Oh, okay.
I think there,
I thought there was something else.
Well, put it this way, I'm allergic to penicillin. So
am I.
So anytime I go and I'm sick, it's like it's all synthetics, right? Penicillin can kill me. So
I think just going back to the topic here, I think it is up to the parents, or as Derek says, up to the it's up to the individual to have their child immunized or not, right? But as far as I know, depending on what school board you go to, you're not allowed to bring a child into school without your immunization. because you need to have that history. You can't even travel to some countries without your immunizations history.
This also comes down to both a personal safety for the child, but also a public safety, right? So I tend to look at people who choose not to have their children immunized or at least fortified, especially when they're very young, as a question around health and safety versus a question around if there are harmful effects to the flu shot or to the shot in general, right?
Well,
Because mostly the objections I hear are related to those pieces, right? About that there's some side effects, some negative piece to that.
I feel great. I don't know what you're talking about. I have all my shots.
Okay, well, here's the thing, and this hits a little bit closer to us. Like, I have a friend. Her son had cancer a couple of years back, or a year and a half back, and he's in remission. And then that report about the measles that broke out
Yeah,
out in Scarborough.
yeah.
Well, I believe we're in the general area where that happened. If he got infected with the measles, it will set him back on his recovery from cancer, and it could actually, I believe it could actually kill him too, because his immune system is not as strong right now as it would be as a healthy child. So, in regards to what Derek was saying to the general public, that's what these parents should be thinking about. It's not like they don't think, oh, it's my child, but your child can kill another child.
Unfortunately, they can be the carrier. They can be patient zero if they're not careful.
Yeah.
Right. Any chat room? I just want to ask you guys this. Do you guys agree? In other words, do you guys harbor any ill will to parents who does not immune their child? So that's the question I have for you guys. For me, I have no issues for them. Like I'm not angry at the child. I'm not angry to the parents. It's their beliefs. It's their the way of thinking. I have no problems with that. But at the end of the day, don't cry to me when something happens.
That's right.
Right. Don't cry to me that you can't bring your child to the school, especially in the kindergarten, because you don't have immunization history.
Yeah, don't cry to you if you can't bring your child on a plane.
Yeah. So again, some countries do require you to show your immunization. You can't fly to some countries without it. So just be aware of that. So yes, chat room, thank you for this amazing topic. Thank you. Well, any final thoughts on this one before we move on? We're pretty close to the end of our time.
I think it just comes down to being responsible.
Yeah. How about you, Derek? Last thoughts?
I think that, as somebody who's a parent, I look at it and go, I would have strong feelings around this if somebody said that they weren't immunizing their children. And, I look at it from the perspective of somebody that you are responsible for, especially somebody who cannot make those choices for themselves, especially when they're younger, right? So I take a strong view on it. And I think that, if for whatever reasons you're not, I think you need to examine those and consider why you're making those choices.
Mark?
Well, I am a parent, and, again, you're endangering the lives of my kids, right? You can have your beliefs, you can have, you can think, but again, like you said, don't cry to me if they can't do anything. Don't cry saying, well, how come I'm not allowed in? How come my kid's not allowed in? All right.
Yeah, with that thought, hopefully next week's topic will be a lot more cheerful.
Leonard, we talked about people dying on the first part and automatic cars. Then we talk, this has not been our most cheerful episode in any way, shape, or form.
Happy Monday,
Spring is coming.
guys.
There. Spring is
Yeah, we gotta change these things. You gotta change it. You gotta change
Yeah,
it.
I
man.
thought it's gonna be a nice conversational piece, but I didn't realize it's gonna be such a downer.
We are serious guys here.
I know. Normally it was not like this. I was
Wait,
not
wait,
expecting
wait.
this at all.
I know why. I know why he had to choose these topics.
What
Because there's a topic that you guys are not allowed to talk about right now.
about?
What did you guys watch this weekend?
Oh yeah, Marvel,
Yeah,
Captain
we're not gonna do
Marvel.
that.
I
No,
did.
no.
I had that
Did you get-
originally. I'm like, I should delete this after you said you're not gonna watch it this weekend. Damn you.
Mark, if you're gonna go on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday?
Are you serious? Okay, Chad, shush. Mark, watch it. Let us know if you watch it this weekend. Let's talk about this on Monday because I really want to know everyone's opinion about Captain Marvel.
So so you guys want me to watch Captain Marvel and help review it? Okay.
No, but you're gonna have a firm,
We
a
can
very
do it
mature.
if you want. That's not a problem.
We're gonna have a nice
Okay.
conversation, a mature conversation about Captain Marvel
All I
next
have to
week on
say-
Monday.
All I have to say, it's only in the extreme emergencies, okay?
Last weekend?
No,
What?
extreme emergencies. Oh my god, you watched it and you don't even know that line from it? Oh my god, you should-
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah, I got it now. Okay. Anywho.
okay?
I did
haven't
enjoy the
watched-
Firkin.
Oh my.
Okay.
You know, here's another. To my greatest fan. Do you know who's that from? Oh my god, you're not a gamer.
Okay.
Johnny Cage, to my greatest fan.
Okay. So, Mark, are you gonna watch it this weekend?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see. On Saturday, I'm definitely going tubing, so I'll be in Kitchener all weekend.
Okay,
on
let
that
us know if you're gonna watch it. Like, just text us you're watching it, so at least I can update these show notes for next week, so we can
Alright,
actually have a proper conversation. I want to know. I'm literally just gonna have this and 2 more weird stuff. So I just want to know. Just let us know if if you watch it, then we'll put that in the show notes so we can
Okay.
talk about it this week. Okay?
I think they should do
I-
a spin-off movie based
Which-
on Goose.
I will let you guys know, but tomorrow my main concern right now is waking up early enough tomorrow morning and making sure that I can get a copy of Fantastic Beasts 2 in the steel bookcase. It launches
So-
out tomorrow on DVD.
I don't think there's gonna be a rush in the store, dude.
Actually, it is all sold out. Here's the thing: pre-orders was all sold out before I got to it for the steel bookcase. And
Okay.
I need a steel bookcase because I
that's a
already started
limited
with all the
edition.
steel bookcases for Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, it's a limited edition, so it's
Still
understandable.
not that fantastic.
Okay, wait. Where's Platinum? Where's Platinum? Wait, hold on. What did Platinum say anything about that?
But yeah, she hasn't heard it yet. Wait for a minute. Hold on. It's like a 20-second delay. Let's see what she says.
Let's see what she says here. Platinum.
Okay, Platinum. Let's see what you say about that.
See? She's like, Platinum.
Notice how we're waiting the 20 seconds just to get her reaction.
Well, she just said, "Oh my God, yes, Mark." See?
Yeah, she hasn't heard the comment yet. She hasn't heard a comment from Chad yet. Let's see what happens.
Even Dorotho is like saying, "Yes, go get it." See?
Oh my god. Alright.
I'm not the only one.
Okay, guys. So that's what we have.
Sorry, Platinum just said, "Shut up, Chad."
Okay, guys. So that's all we have for today. So just stay tuned for next week. If Mark does watch Captain Marvel, we're going to be talking about that because I definitely want to hear everyone's reviews on this one.
I actually have to watch Alita as well.
Oh, I saw that. Pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah,
2 thumbs
I
up.
gotta go watch that as well.
Thumbs up.
Maybe if they did Miss Marvel, it would have been better.
Okay, let's end now.
Okay,
Let's just-
okay, okay, whatever. Okay. So So, guys, thank you again for watching us for today's show. As you know, we do record this podcast live at YouTube and Twitch every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Please press the subscribe button so you'll get notified when we go live or even upload new content. Oh, speaking of new content, Mark, when can we see our second episode? FYI.
I unfortunately, because I've been working on other things right now, I haven't been able to get to it, but I will get to it sometime this week.
Okay, so stay tuned for episode 2 of the Garage Tech. You can also download this episode and any other episode from your favorite podcasting application. Just search for Radio 9 Podcasting Network. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week at the Coffee Mug Show here at the Radio 9 Podcasting Network. Good night, guys.
Good night.
All right.